Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. I'm Jessica Stutzman. Thanks to the diligent and dedicated staff of our Millcreek Township Police Department, the community of Millcreek takes great pride in being a safe community to live, work, and play in. Active communication and participation from residents, also keeping a watchful eye out for one another, makes Millcreek a truly wonderful place to call home. With your help, the Neighborhood Watch Initiative would like to get you involved with a program in your area. Joining me to discuss the Neighborhood Watch Initiative is Lieutenant Mike Little from the Millcreek Township Police Department and Sandy Globa, the Neighborhood Watch Coordinator for the South Central Millcreek area. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Good to be here.
Well, so we see signs around neighborhoods that say, Neighborhood Watch area, and if you see a problem, report and call this number. But what is the Neighborhood Watch Program Initiative to you?
I would define it as a group of concerned citizens who band together to alleviate crime in their neighborhoods, as well as other problems. And it may be something as simple as erecting a stop sign at an intersection. It may be a code problem, such as abandoned buildings that needed boarded up. It may be animal enforcement. There may be aggressive dogs in the neighborhood that aren't being contained.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just about crime, it's really about making your neighborhood a better place to live.
Absolutely.
How long have you been working with the Neighborhood Watch program?
Since 2014,
Right.
We initiated the Neighborhood Watch organization with Sandy Globa. She approached us and desired to have a neighborhood watch in her neighborhood. So that is how it began. The chief directed me to take over the project, and we're happy to participate.
And how many other programs are there in Millcreek Township?
Including Sandy's, there are 5 different neighborhood watches.
Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned, Sandy's is the South Central Millcreek. What are some of the other areas off the top of your head?
We have one which is a mobile home park up near the peninsula. Mm-hmm. We have another one which is just north of Sandy's, on the other side of Gore Road, actually. Gore Road sort of divides their 2 neighborhood watches. Mm-hmm. We have one at a apartment complex, the Salisbury building. Mm-hmm. And then, where's the other one? The other one is out by Wolf Road area. Mm-hmm. So, we participate all over the township, north, south, and east.
And how big of an area? You did mention a few of them are, restricted to the mobile home park or the apartment complex, but some of those that are actually neighborhoods, how big of an area does that encompass?
Sandy, you could speak on that.
That really varies, in just how many of your neighbors really wanted to get involved, and just what we always said, and Mike was always good as helping us with this, never take on more than you can handle. Mm-hmm. So, but we do have quite a large area, but it really varies. It can vary.
And for yours, you mentioned that the South Central Millcreek one is quite large. How many residences are in that area?
Yes, we do have quite a large area. We take in about 1,200 families, mm-hmm. 1,200 homes.
That's fantastic. That's a lot of people to get together and participate in something like this.
It is, it really is, and sometimes it can be a little bit too much, but we do it through emails, we do it through phone calls, we do it through Nextdoor, which is an app on phones, and really we try to, and then we also do it by just neighbors letting neighbors know what mm-hmm. is happening or what might be going on.
And that's true, that's actually how I found out about the organization. But how many residents do you think need to participate in order to make this worthwhile?
It doesn't matter to us. It can be as small as a group of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have meetings with 10, 15 people. Mm-hmm. And then your largest meeting was in excess of 100 people. Mm-hmm. And usually, like in that example, there was a triggering event. They were having burglaries in their neighborhood. So that brought more people in because they're obviously concerned for their neighborhood mm-hmm. and all the crimes that were being committed at the time. And that was what we refer to as a triggering event.
Right, mm-hmm. right.
So it can really vary. And then is there any cost associated with either starting up the Neighborhood Watch program or a cost for residents who are interested in participating?
Well, actually, there isn't a cost, and we were lucky enough. We actually had some flyers that we got together, a smaller committee, and it is a flyer that we passed out to every person in our Neighborhood Watch. I had a group of people that went door to door to do this, and Actually, with the printing of those, it could get quite costly, but we were very lucky to kind of piggyback with the Neighborhood Resource Organization, and John Villa, who is in charge of that, they do all of our copying there with no charge.
That's fantastic. And like you mentioned, going even door to door, one, that's nice because then you get to meet your neighbors stopping face to
Right.
face, but then that probably cut down on postage costs as well.
Oh, right, we wouldn't do it through postage.
Right.
Yeah, we,
Right.
you know, we try to do things as easily and with the least amount of cost as possible. But the other thing that is, you know, always up, and we always get notification of grants that are available. We get notification of different programs, and with the, I think you've got it here, the neighborhood toolkit. That is where each neighborhood that does become involved in a neighborhood watch goes through that, and you see where your areas are of what you need, and you know where the neighborhood resource organization or another organization in the city can help you.
And I actually am glad you brought up the Neighborhood Resource Organization as like a partner that helps out in really supplying either materials or, like you said, helping with printing. Who else do you guys partner with to make this possible?
Well, getting back to the NRO, they are, if you contact me and you want to start a neighborhood watch, that is who I'm going to refer you to, and they actually do the startup for you. Now, they work with other agencies. We are just a liaison between the Neighborhood Watch and the Neighborhood Resource Organization. And our participation is basically providing the crime statistics, letting them know when and where the crimes are occurring, what they can do to avoid them. So it's the NRO that really works together with these other agencies, and we're just a middleman.
And where are the meetings held?
Typically, McDowell is very accommodating to us, the Millcreek School District. They allow Sandy to have J.S. Wilson, and we've used Tracy School in the past. We've used numerous churches, and sometimes we just have them at people's homes.
Yeah.
Depending on how many people are involved.
Yeah, and folks, if you get a chance, this neighborhood safety toolkit, even if you're not starting up a program in your area, I will say it's on the Millcreek Township website, on the police department website, and it was just a very interesting read. So I was able to read through it quickly, but I really recommend, you know, just printing it out and taking a glance over. It was very interesting.
Right, and now that you mentioned the website, I would ask that people go to that site because there's a lot of good information on there. I don't know if you saw the alerts column.
I did.
And it has video of retail thefts, burglars, robberies, and it's just us looking for help in these videos trying to identify people. And if people can look at that, and if they recognize somebody and contact us, you know, all the contact information is on the website. Right below that is the Neighborhood Watch column that you can click on, and that's all my contact information. But I urge people to look at that because it's very helpful, and we get a lot of good tips that way.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And how helpful is the community in helping you solve some of those crimes?
Oh, they're very involved. As a matter of fact, just today we had a purse stolen at Wegmans yesterday, and we had video. We put the video out, and immediately we got 2 phone calls telling us who this guy was, where he was located, and it made our job easy.
Yeah.
And you know, they are the eyes and the ears of our police department, and we need people to communicate and to get a hold of us when they see something happening. And you know, not that we're looking for vigilantes out there, we just want you to contact us and let us deal with it.
Exactly.
And anything suspicious, anybody who looks out of place in your neighborhood, you know, I've had conversations with her group on this. We do safety talks, and anything we can get from the community is very helpful.
And that's a good thing I want to bring up too. If you do see something in your neighborhood, you want to contact the police department, not the coordinator of your neighborhood watch program,
Right.
correct?
Absolutely. You can contact her later, but call us first.
Right.
Yeah.
The first call should
Please.
be to, and that we put in our flyer. We want people to have a greater sense of security, you know, to feel good about the watch. And we also want to have them to have a good relationship with law enforcement. So, you know, this is one of the reasons why we always say, please call your, police department first, and then let the coordinator know what's going on. And then we also hear from Mike too, what has happened in the neighborhood.
Right. That somebody might not have
Right.
told you about. So Sandy, tell me how your meetings are scheduled, and do you have any guest speakers come and talk? Like, does Mike chat when he's there, or do you have other people come in too?
Well, normally when we have a meeting, we usually have, and it varies. When we first started, we had probably, I would say maybe 4 set up throughout the good months, maybe 5, 1 a month. And since we've been going and things have been kind of falling into place a little bit better, we've kind of narrowed that down to maybe 3 to 2 meetings per month throughout the season. And we always notify John Villa, who is with the Neighborhood Resource Organization. We let Lieutenant Little know what is going on. He is always present at our meetings, always talks about, safety and what has maybe happened as far as crime in the area. But we've also had people come and talk about security systems, cyber theft and hacking. We've had the Crime Victims Center come and speak. They did a wonderful program. We had the fire department come and speak on safety, and they were so excited to come to the school and just go through J.S. Wilson, and brought all of the fire trucks, and we've had emergency management come and speak, just so people can be prepared. We had you come and speak on the recycling, and that was one of the requests that we had from people. So we have had a lot of variety of what people want, and try to have speakers come and present that information to our neighbors.
And Mike, when you said, if you see anything, suspicious or if you see something in your neighborhood amiss, go ahead and call the police department. What other tips do you give during those specific meetings?
Well, we like to address home safety and how you can make your house more secure with surveillance lights and motion lights and video cameras, and how to secure your doors. Things as simple as the, trying to think of what the plate is, the kick plate on your door, embedding longer screws into it instead of just the short 1 inches that come with it. Put a 3-inch screw in there. Just items like that we like to talk about and encourage people to make changes and to trim their bushes below their windows and to be on the lookout for anybody who's out of place and to communicate with your neighbors. If you're going out of town, let your neighbors know, the neighbors that you trust, let them know where you're going, where you're going to be, how to get a hold of them. And there's a myriad of issues that we can bring up, and we like to educate people and let them know what's going on.
Right. And I remember specifically the last topic we were talking about was people maybe stealing things out of your car. You leave your car unlocked. So what would you say to help with maybe some of those summer issues you see?
Typically when it starts up, when we start seeing a pattern of this occurring, I'll email Sandy and Jim and I'll say, hey, it's starting again. Inform your community group to lock their cars, because a lot of times if the car's locked, they won't even bother with it. Pull your car into the garage. We have cases where people leave their firearms in an unlocked vehicle, their jewelry, their purses, their wallets, their laptops. And if the car's unsecured, somebody's going to get in it. And so we recommend just safeguarding it by simply locking the doors.
Right. And Millcreek, I think that's sometimes, what fools us, because it is such a safe community that I think sometimes you let your guard down and, your car's outside and you've got your, nice sunglasses or something, your purse in your car, and, really it's just the best practice to always lock your car, or like you said, pull it into the garage.
And there are certain times of the year too when certain things may happen. Now, summertime may bring, a little bit, the weather's a little bit nicer, you might leave your garage door open, make sure it's down. If you're in the backyard, make sure that garage door is down. Make sure your front door is locked.
Yeah.
Right. And your man door to your garage. That's a common thing for juveniles, to go through the garage man door, go through your refrigerator and get your beer and your, whatever you got stored in it.
Right. And so those signs we see, those neighborhood watch signs, does that automatically come with the program, or do you have to request those? How does that work?
Sometimes the township will supply them. They don't always have them in stock, but if they do, the streets department is more than willing to come up and post them for you. Typically, you can get them through the grant program, through the NRO,
Right.
or you can buy them outright. They're not really that expensive. You can buy them online.
And how have you seen them help throughout the neighborhoods?
I think it alerts people that are coming into the neighborhood that, you know, there's people watching, and I think it's a good way to keep people out of there that, you know, have crime in mind.
Right. And I know the Neighborhood Resource Organization too was getting video cameras for neighborhoods. And I know now there is a big concentration for the city, but you know, some of our Millcreek watches are also going to get a camera.
And I think those signs remind me even just of like the security camera signs outside your home. Like you said, it's just that, you know, presence or awareness that, hey, people are watching. So.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, how often I know we did mention a few of your meetings, but how often do you meet?
Well, this past year, last year, I think we met twice. We probably met once in the spring, and we always meet when the school is open because we do use J.S. Wilson. So summertime meetings are out when the school is closed. And you know, another thing, our meetings are short. We don't, you know, have lengthy meetings. We will get there like right around 6:45, and by 8:15, we're probably out the door. So this year we have had, I think we're having one more meeting come up before the schools close, and then we had 2 other meetings.
And
The norm would be twice a year. That's what they recommend. I have some groups that meet every other month, and I tried to deter them a little bit to just having a couple a year, and they did it for a while, but they missed it, and they wanted to go back to every other month.
right.
So it's preference, and we're open to whatever you want to do. It's your group, and if you want to do it once a week, I don't care. We'll show up and we'll
Right.
do what we have to. But
Right.
it's just a preference on which neighborhood group wants to meet and how often they want to do it.
And sometimes those meetings can be a little more social too. They don't always have to be, you know, just really crime prevention or security issues. It can be more of a social group too.
Right. Some of ours are, I'm sorry, some of ours are associations, and they'll just get together once a year and have a picnic and invite us to come and talk and bring a speaker with us. So we have that happening as well.
Yeah, and when is your next meeting? That's what I was going to ask, because I
Okay.
want our viewers to know,
All right.
you know, if they do live in that south central Millcreek area, you know, when they should show up.
Right. We are going to have a meeting June 8th, and that is on a Thursday. And what we're setting up for that meeting is we're going to partner with the J.S. Wilson School. We've already met with the principal, and he is going to send a notice out to all of the parents, and we are going to have a panel to speak on drug and alcohol issues that are affecting our community, and where people can go to get some answers and some help.
I love that topic, and I love all the other topics that you've had there too. I think they're very informative. And Sandy, I wanted to ask you, what made you start this in 2014? What was the catalyst that really brought this all together? Because you're so involved in the community. This is another organization that you really took under your wing.
Well, we actually had a break-in on our street, and it was an older woman whose husband was in a nursing home, and we don't know whether she was being watched, and you know, they knew that the house was vacant when it was broken into, but she was just, you know, so traumatized, which anyone would be after, you know, having someone come in and break into their home. Money and jewelry was taken, and so we just decided that perhaps we should call the Millcreek Police Department and, you know, perhaps set up a program. And that's when we met Lieutenant Little and got things rolling.
And how beneficial do you feel like the meetings are to you and to the residents?
Well, I do think people appreciate the information and that sense of security that people are, really watching out for them and giving them tips so that they can watch out for themselves and others also. We've always had a lot of people say thank you to us for, doing what we've done.
Mm-hmm. And I know that when I went to the meeting, I found this very interesting. You had recently got a grant to redo some of the signs around the neighborhood. Can you tell us about that?
Right. That was, we actually put in some bids out in the community, and we were pretty amazed at what the high prices were. So we kind of put our heads together and did some networking with some people in the community to help us. We had 2 large signs that brought people into one of the neighborhoods that is in our watch group, and they really were in pretty bad shape. They needed a huge facelift. So we were able to, through John Villa and the Neighborhood Resource Organization, to apply for a grant, and got a grant to help us pay for improving the signs.
I drive by the signs just about daily, and we'll put a picture here on the screen, but they look very nice now. It was a good job, well done.
Oh, good. Well, I actually helped paint them.
I probably saw you out there then. Is there a lot of work in scheduling these meetings and initiating that, that very first neighborhood watch in your area if you don't have one? What do you think the time involvement or commitment is?
On our behalf or on the behalf of the citizens?
On both.
For me, it's minimal because we refer them to the NRO, and I just ask that they get back to me with the date that they want to have their meeting. And frequently they'll ask me for suggestions on who to bring in for a guest speaker, so I'll get involved with that. Most of my time is like plotting the crimes, looking at an Excel map on what happened in what area, were they affected by it or not, how many traffic stops were conducted. We just got a new program that'll help us to bring up all that information and be able to provide it to everybody in the neighborhood. And not that we're going to give out specific addresses and so forth, but just generally in this 100 block you had a burglary or 3 burglaries or whatever the case may be. So that's where most of my time goes. And then I do communicate with the coordinators, which would be Sandy and Jim. I'll send them emails when I see a pattern of crimes occurring, just so they're alerted, and then they'll pass that on to their block captains, and it'll spread, and everybody they'll know to lock their cars because there's something going on. And
Right. And what for next year, what we're already looking ahead for, and this was through Mike, the Attorney General's office is interested in perhaps coming and doing a consumer protection program for us. So we're definitely going to look into that for one of our programs for next year.
I think that's fantastic. There's so many things that you've really brought together. Again, whether that's just for, to have me come in and talk about recycling, or like you said, identity theft or consumer protection. The one thing I want to touch on, we're just about out of time, but the one thing I want to touch on again is that Nextdoor app on your phone. Can you guys explain that a little bit for our residents?
Yeah. Well, we have one that is just in our area, and I think my husband said that there were about 500 people that were members of this or belong to this app, and postings are put on your phone through Nextdoor South Central. Whether you need a babysitter, or you need someone to help repair something, or you want someone to help with dog care, or or there's been a strange car in the area, and this way it really alerts a lot of people in a faster way.
And Mike, I wanted to ask before we wrap up here, what do you think it means to be a good neighbor, or to be a good community citizen?
I would say that it involves working together as a community and knowing each other's issues. If you've got an elderly woman who's living alone, be aware of that and work with her and help her. If she needs her lawn mowed, it's more than just crime watch. It's more than just alleviating crime. It's working as a group. And like in my situation where I live, I've got an Erie City cop who lives across the street, and we take care of each other. We watch out, and that's what you got to do. You got to be in contact with people, know their patterns, and look out for each other and work as a team.
And I like to think that our Millcreek residents really do that for each other, but this really brings everybody together through a formal meeting and a formal organization. Before we run out of time, can you guys again list the Millcreek Township Police Department website and maybe how they should reach out to you to get involved with the Neighborhood Watch program?
Yes, you can go to the police website, which is millcreekpd.com, or you can just Google Millcreek Police and it'll come up. On that website, if you click the column for public awareness, you'll see a sub-column of alerts, Neighborhood Watch. If you click on that Neighborhood Watch, it'll take you right to all my contact information and what our agenda is as a Neighborhood Watch.
And you also, when in doubt, you know, if you have a crime going on, again, don't call your Neighborhood Watch program leader. Make sure you call 911 first.
Or you want to actually call the police department, 833-7777 first.
Right. That's the number I have on speed dial in my phone if something were to happen. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being here today with us. I think our viewers are really going to get something wonderful out of this. And like I said, I just think to even go online, if you don't have a Neighborhood Watch program in your area, you know, consider starting one up. I think reading these pamphlets and brochures, you know, and viewers, if you do have a Neighborhood Watch program in your area, definitely get involved. These are great organizations and you can learn a lot from them. You can meet your neighbors and really bring your community together. So please take the time to get involved with your Neighborhood Watch organization program or consider starting one up in your area. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.